In this video, I'm going to show you how to fold an open back hexagon twist, which is an origami tessellation technique. This is one folded. As you can see, it's a hexagon twist, and in the back there is an open portion in the shape of a hexagon. So unfolding this, you will see that it works on a triangle grid. This one has 8 divisions. And there are some off-grid creases, and you can see that this is the central hexagon, which consists of 6 small triangles on the grid. And just outside of that there are off-grid creases that form a slightly larger hexagon. So you will see, if we start in the point of one of this hexagon in the center, then there are 2 triangles that are above it, 4 actually, but we're just looking at the 2 central ones, and we use the diagonal between that. So if you have that done throughout, then you get this larger hexagon. Now, for this hexagon there's this horizontal crease that goes through the point, and above it are 3 triangles on the grid. And if you take the crease, the grid crease, that is kind of to the right rather than to the left, and you do that on each of these points, like this, then you can make the open back hexagon twist counterclockwise by taking these creases and folding them over on a parallel triangle grid crease, and it will end in the next corner of the hexagon. So if you just push that over each time, push it over, push it over, push it over, it will collapse into a twist. Now let's see how a clockwise turn works. So this time, again, observe the horizontal crease when you have a point of the hexagon pointing upwards. Now we're going to take the left one. I haven't twisted this one in that direction yet, so you'll kind of also see it in action without the creases in the directions you want them. So first I'm just going around, pinching them into mountain folds. And now this time the parallel crease isn't to the left, but it's to the right. So you can push over each of the mountain folds along the grid crease. And observe that I'm not quite going to the point, but rather maybe one grid triangle off, because that's easier, and the rest will actually fall into place. As you can see here, it's already twisting, and then you can fold it flat. And this time you can see the hexagon in the center is turning clockwise. You see that when you unfold it, it goes clockwise like that. And then again you have an open back hexagon twist. Now this technique actually already enables you to do quite nice tessellations, or at least if you also know the very basic technique of doing a triangle twist. So in Eric Gierde's book Origami Tessellations, which I can highly recommend if you like tessellations, there are 2 models. The first is the open back hexagon twist, which you can see displayed here, but also the back side looks like this. This is possible just using the open back hexagon twist, as well as some connectors which are triangle twists. Now, if you actually reduce the distance of these hexagons and the triangle twists that connect them, then you get a slightly different model, which is called basket weave, also by Eric Gjerde. And this looks somewhat similar to that picture you saw here, but notice that these strings that are interweaved are 2 triangles wide here, whereas here it's just 1 triangle. And here you can see the other side, just as it was displayed in the bigger shot on this side. And here you can see you have full open back hexagon twists, whereas here they will actually overlap. So it's a little bit more elaborate to fold. Just for a test, I did try one here, and you can see there is that one central hexagon, open back hexagon twist, and the other ones are hidden right there when you collapse it. And then if you go on and tessellate it even more, then you'll always have some on top and some on bottom, I guess, or depending on how you arrange the layers, because you have some options there, they will go underneath in different ways. But here, as you can see, turning around, you just have a width of 1 triangle. And isn't this an amazing model, just using the open back hexagon twist and triangle twists as connectors? But I've already got a video on how to fold a triangle twist in any case. Now, but let's go back to just folding one of these open back hexagon twists without the pre-creasing done. So for that, we're just going to start with a triangle grid with at least 8 divisions, and I have a video on how to fold a triangle grid, so I'm just quickly going to speed through that now. So once you've got an 8 division triangle grid done, you're then going to locate your hexagon for the open back hexagon twist, which is actually going to be exactly the shape that will be open in the back. So I'll just take the central one. And as I mentioned before, then you will kind of see that there are triangles connected to each of these points, and you're going to crease right between those 2 points, kind of using that diagonal, and then you go around all the way to get a large hexagon shape. Now you can just do this by folding between 2 points, which works okay because it's not too hard of a crease to make. But if you do a display object or something of the like, you're probably going to work on a very large pattern with very different techniques put together. So especially then, it's a good idea to actually score the paper with a ruler and an empty pen or a bone folder or a stylus or something of the like. Something that has a tip that isn't totally sharp, and then to pre-crease it like that. That weakens the paper, and then when you start folding it, it will actually fall into the right place. So you still have to do that step of pinching the paper into place, as if you didn't score the paper, but it will be harder to get it as accurate and straight. And this is quite large, so with a real tessellation you'd have a grid that has a much smaller triangles, and it would be harder. So that's why, again, I recommend using that ruler, lining it up with the grid, and making that score to then be able to fold it much more easily and much more neatly. So once you have that larger hexagon creased, which is off-grid, then again remember that we were talking about this horizontal crease, and you have 1, 2, 3 triangles, and you use the right grid crease seen from this point for a counterclockwise turn and the left one for a clockwise turn. So counterclockwise, let's use this time because before I used one that had already been collapsed. Just pinching those into place every time using the right one, and then pushing it over to the left along a grid crease. Going around once, and then already the open back hexagon twist collapses. Personally, I actually think this one is easier to collapse than a normal hexagon twist, but it does require off-grid creases. So I hope this helped you understand how to do an open back hexagon twist, and happy folding!